This Friday marks the 25th anniversary of the movie release of Titanic. And no wonder why Leonardo DiCaprio will not go see it. This is Epic Thoughts. Was it uncalled for? I don't think so. Welcome to another episode of Epic Thoughts. Yo, this is a special day. Even though we are pre-recorded, please feel free to leave your comments and all that other information and stay in the conversation. We are pre-recorded. I just want to let you know, so be aware. But today, my special guest is not a special guest. She's an epic thinker, just like your boy. And if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be here on Epic Thoughts. Carla Finlayson is back in the building. What's up, Carla?
What's up?
She's come to us all the way live from Texas. We're giggling because we know what we're about to do. And we know what this show is about to be about. And something came up in our conversation. Carla, we talk every day.
Yeah.
Okay? We talk every single day. And the conversations are sometimes get deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times they get kind of lengthy. But at the same time, they're sometimes it gets prosperous. This is, I don't know where you would clarify, where you would put this next conversation. I don't know. But I don't know where you would put it. However, we need to warn you, if you are watching this at work, this may be NSFW. Is that what not safe for work?
Yes.
This may be NSFW. Hide your wife, hide your kids. You've been warned. That we're going to cover a sensitive subject. We're going to show a sensitive picture that might be sensitive to the eyes. Or I don't know if it's sensitive, but it's something. It's going to be something. But when this situation came up, and listen, Carla and Carla more so me, Carla should be a journalist, 100%. She should be an investigative journalist. The way she comes up with facts and stuff is just interesting, and how she does her research. So this, we were talking. I don't know where this conversation came from, Carla, but we were talking about just I don't know where this conversation came from. But you brought up you said, have you heard of the church in Atlanta that where everyone's coming to church with their titties out? And there's no other way to say it. That's exactly what was happening. Listen, I know we're Christians. It's a Christian show, but I'm telling you today is going to be different. We're going to talk about real stuff. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, there's a church where women are very voluptuous. Women are coming to church, and there's no dress code. So we had to Google it. And we came across a few pictures. Did we not, Carla? Carla, you haven't seen these pictures. You've just seen what you've seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's bring up some of the pictures first. First of all, the name of the church is New Glow Baptist Church.
I couldn't remember the name. Yeah.
Okay. It's called New Glow Baptist Church. Now, here are just three pictures from the Instagram page. Okay, here we go. Again, this is for mature audiences, so just be aware that what you're about to see are sexualized visuals. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
This is New Glow Baptist Church. That's one picture. Here's another one.
Oh no.
And here's another one.
Oh.
She got the money bag, the purse to go with it. She's accessorized. Now, Carla. Now, before we don't want to give too much away, because we want to talk about our first reaction, and then we'll find out later. So let's talk first reaction first. So, Carla, your reaction. This is your first time seeing these pictures, but I think you've seen others before.
Mm-hmm.
Your initial reaction, Carla, what is it?
My initial reaction was, what is the world coming to, for one? For two, and I said this to Ramon, if they're putting these pictures on their Instagram, what are they really advertising? Is it really a church? And if it is a church, then God is done with us. Like he said, you know what? I told Ramon this. I said, Jesus, he's like, I'm not gonna flood the earth again. I'm just gonna come back for y'all because y'all just doing too much.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm reminded, and we're not gonna say names because we love this person, but there's a church in our area that that we both went to at certain times in our life because it was a church. And
Yeah.
we kept calling it. I kept calling it something. I don't remember what I kept calling the church. We're not gonna say the real name of the church, but
No.
just because the pastor was very good looking, he was a very handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
The front row was full of the finest women, like the finest women.
Wait, hold on. Not, I don't want to give too much away, but I think, I think the pastor was also single, quote
He was,
unquote, at the time,
quote unquote,
quote unquote.
but apostrophe, yeah.
Yeah.
He was good looking. He was single, and he wore a lot of tight clothes.
Tight
Clothes. So
tight.
during that time, the front row was like high picking, like the best women were coming out, and they were dressed to the nines. They looked good.
Let's not forget to mention that his staff, like his like right hand man, was pretty good looking too.
Yeah, there was not a lot of ugly people on that staff, which
No.
that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I don't. So we remember we didn't have a lot. We had pushback about it, but it wasn't as big as this. Like it wasn't that overt, right?
Yeah, it was the equivalent. It was just, it was like if this pastor bent over just a little bit, like his shirt was gonna rip.
And they were there for it. And they were there for
it. It would have been like, oh my gosh, pastor!
your shirt is ripped. Oh my god!
No, like, oh yeah, oh wow, do you work out?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes, you could pray for me. Yeah, that was one thing. But what we saw, and of course it had to be Atlanta, because that's my first thought was like, of course, Atlanta. That's the church. Another thing, I'm gonna put the picture again because just so we can see it. Wait, Carla, put it up again. Hold on. Okay.
You.
Huh?
That's what I can't stand. Is she's in front of the pews of the church. Oh my gosh.
No, notice the logo. The logo is a peach booty.
Well, I mean, it's peach, but did we just make it nasty? Poor peaches.
Yeah, it's not the peach's fault that it looks like that, especially the plum.
Right. It's not.
So of course, Carla and I we were going off like, what is this? And Carla kept saying it's got to be more. It can't be, because that was the thing. You come as you are. That's how they describe themselves. Come as you are. And you know what? I should probably get the what we found, the fact checked on it on the church up, so we can read it and so people can see it.
Okay.
So they can see that we're not making it up. But you were saying, Carla, that you felt like because of what we saw, like, and look, the internet is going crazy, right? Church people they're losing their mind over this.
Also, they had already like 37,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. And so I was like, I was just kind of like, I hadn't really dug into it. It was something that I saw. I've seen a lot of like TikToks on it. And I was just like, this can't be what it's being advertised as.
Mm-hmm. Now, listen, the reason why we're sharing this today, guys, is we want you. The reason for Epic Thoughts was to have healthy conversation. But see, healthy conversation, if you have the right people in the room, is going to lead you to the truth, right? You're going to find the truth to things. And you ask the questions like Carla asked, like, yo, what is going on here? Is this real? Why would they do this? And because there's another church, Carla. There's another church where the pastor is they're like literally growing their own weed
Right.
out of the church, and
Right.
so we're not shocked. We're surprised, but we're not shocked
Right.
because I think the question is, before we get to the deep of this whole thing, the question is the church feeling that they're not good enough, that the message that they're giving is not good enough, so we have to resort to extraneous reach to get people to come to church? Like, I don't know who's gonna come to church when homegirl is sitting up there like that. But I mean, well, actually, I do know who's going to church. I do know who's going to church. But it's almost to the point where you're saying to yourself, we're trying so many different risky things to entice people to come to church. And it's almost you want to ask the question, well, is the church not good enough? Is the gospel not good enough we have to do these other things?
Mm-hmm.
Do we feel like God isn't good enough to keep people? Like, this is insane. This is insane. So this is where it gets crazy, Carla.
Yeah, go ahead and read it because it's
Okay.
good.
All right, so this is when it gets kind of funky. So we decided that we were going to look into this a little bit more, and we weren't just going to see if I can share my screen here. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna see if I can share my screen. So me and Carla looked into this a little bit more, and we decided, let's find out what's really going on here, because I looked into the pastor. His name is Brother P-E-A is his name, Brother P-E-A. And of course, there's links in the bio. So I clicked the link in the bio, which led to a Patreon page, and the Patreon page leads to $12. And you click the link to join the Patreon page, which I did not do. And it showed more. I guess it was going to show more women with no clothes on. And this was a way that they were raising money. And that's what they said, raising money for their ministry. So then we decided to proceed and put this in a fact check. And this is what we read on the fact check. It was really small. It says claims of church in Atlanta, Georgia, usually seductively dressed women in their social media ads to attract more attendees have circulated on various social media platforms for the past few months. A few days ago, MandyNews.com published a report based on limited information and circulating pictures without verifying the facts. The article has gained widespread attention. This is what we do. Like, this is what we do as a country, Carla. We don't get the facts and we just report stuff. Yeah. So this is through factchecker.com.
Clickbait.
This is a click. Yeah. So we went to fact checks. So that's what we do. We like to check our facts. Contrary to widespread reports and viral images, our thorough investigation has revealed that the information surrounding the New Globe Baptist Church is false. Investigation reveals that all the photos posted on Instagram page were created by AI software. Furthermore, the church does not have a physical location in Atlanta, Georgia. So let's just stop there for a quick second, Carla.
Okay.
Like that is whoa, we're freezing. There we go. That is crazy. First of all, that this is AI developed software. AI made these chicks.
Right.
That's scary.
Right.
So now I'm gone from shock and mortified to terrified.
Right. Well, because are there real women that do look like that?
Yes.
There are. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also somebody had to create this concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they feel like they could have just had women on there? Why did they have to create this like false church, this crazy story to have women on there? It seems, I don't know, it seems a little sinister. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it is extremely sinister. My mind goes so many places. We haven't really talked about AI on this show yet. But I know a lot of people are kind of leery about AI, Carla. I told you about my experience with AI. I actually kind of messed with it the other day, actually like a month ago, and
Mhm,
wanted to see what AI can do.
mhm,
Y'all, let me tell you something. AI is real,
mhm,
and the things this thing can do is remarkable. Like
mhm.
I only spent like an hour and a half with it, and it wrote me 3 songs. We had intellectual dialogue about some things, and I get it. Some people are like, "Well, it's just AI. Someone has to program it to do those things." But it's it generates things that we can't generate in the same amount of time.
Right.
So, like, if you could say, "Give me a colored woman with big voluptuous breasts," and this is what it gave us. Like, look at that. Don't look at that, but look at that. This is a These pictures are AI created images. They're not
Yeah.
even real. They're not real people. The background, Carla, is fake.
Right.
Everything about these pictures. So you see in this back corner behind, I don't know if you don't notice that there's people in this picture, but
Mhm,
to her, was it to her right?
mhm.
Our right, her left, there's people in the background. That's
Right.
AI made that.
Right.
Like that's how unique it is. And they look like real people, like you said. So to me, this is crazy. So the sinister thing is, okay, what is he really trying to do? What's the purpose of this page, right? And so I gotta pull it up again. This is when I need my engineer. This is when I need Josiah, and he's not in the building. Okay. So it says here, let's go back. It says, were created by AI software. Furthermore, the church does not have a physical location. Okay, so it doesn't have a physical location, Carla. So what is it that they're doing? Upon closer examination, it was revealed that the platform was established for the distribution of explicit content, similar to OnlyFans, with a subscription fee of $13 required to access hidden posts. The Patreon fundraiser section for the New Globe Baptist Church claims to offer 3 new uncensored photos of the women in the congregation each week for a fee, but requests that the content not be shared with the public. Further investigation of New Globe Baptist Church Patreon page received that the only content available consists of 38 images and 1 video, all generated by artificial intelligence.
Mm-mm-mm.
Our conclusion is that New Globe Baptist Church is not a legitimate institution, that the images on the Patreon page are fake and generated by AI. The content they offer is not unique, and they appear to be using the guise of a church to generate controversy and earn money through subscription fees. Carla, it's a sad day in America. It's a sad day in America when somebody goes, think about this. Somebody had the audacity, Carla, to go, I can make a website, or I can make a brand that makes it seem like it's a Baptist church and put in, big breasted women. And not only will I get attention because everyone's going to respond, but then I can take it a step further and raise money. Well, he's not raising money. This is a business. He's using AI to create porn. So now we have AI porn. I
We're in,
guess it makes sense. We in trouble,
we're
Carla.
in,
We
why would people want to be themselves when they can just be somebody that they create?
mm-hmm.
And so now people are going to be, porn as it is already an unrealistic representation of sexuality. You know,
Yes.
a lot of those women are very specific, the things that they do. I mean, that's been documented, that's been proven. Um, so now you take AI, you don't even have to pay women to do it. You could just buy a software and you can create any woman that you want. And people will more than likely, like this page, subscribe to it and pay for it. That's crazy.
That's nuts. So okay. So I want to be clear, because people are like, bro, you like this stuff. No, listen, this is just investigation journalism on my part. I'm gonna tell you how many fans they have already. Because they originally had an IG page, it was taken down.
Yeah.
They had to put a new one up. So this is their new one up. So the new one tells me that that they didn't take the first one down. Something happened and they ended up taking it down. They already have 37,000 followers.
Yeah. And see how many people though don't know that that's not AI, because
A lot.
exactly at glance you think like, huh. I mean, let's forget about my first initial reaction was I literally thought this was a church and I just couldn't believe it. But at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm like, there's a lot of crazy things in the world. It could be possible. But now we're stepping into a whole nother dystopian, weird world where people are just making things up.
Yes.
And we don't know what's real and what's not. That's scary.
If there's ever a time in our life where the Terminator story or the Matrix story becomes very accurate, it's now.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, we're on the coattails of like what we used to think were apocalyptic movies. Like we're kind of stepping into a place where we're kind of living it.
Yeah. Now you kind of living in, Carla. We're in it. You know, we have cars that drive themselves now. You know, there's a story in the California news last week of a woman. You heard that? Where the woman
Yeah.
fell asleep
Mm-hmm.
and she, you know, I guess she got arrested or got a ticket or something like that because you're not supposed to sleep while you're driving. I mean, obviously. But then the question was, did she get home okay? And the answer was she did.
Or what about the man that whose Tesla went over the bridge and at first they arrested him thinking that he did it on purpose, but now they think it could be a glitch in the software.
Now Tesla's trying to kill us. Dang it. I almost got one yesterday too. So it's just a weird, it's just okay, so where do we at? So where are we at? So now it's just a weird place to be. First glance though was the outrage towards this New Glow Baptist Church. And the outrage was, I can't believe that there's a church like this. Because me and you're outraged too, like, yo, this can't be real. But in second glance, when we did our research, we were like, oh, it's not real. Okay, cool. But then it's like there's still people who are on YouTube. You type in New Glow Baptist Church and you see these pastors outraging, preaching against it, and calling Brother P like he's a pastor and all these other things. But we don't have enough common sense to stop and say, let me be critical right now. Why would there be a church like this? Like,
or why would a church be advertising just big-breasted women on their Instagram? That doesn't make any sense. It would seem to me that they're advertising something else, which
yeah, they are. When you look at their IG page without the follow, because they're not a private page, so you can see the page. Without the follow, there was no, I was trying to find, I was going through to look to see, okay, if there anybody else except big boob women, because that's kind of one-sided if they're saying come as you are men coming in thongs. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to see that. And that was the point.
Right.
Nobody wants to see that. So that's
Right.
why they have the big booby women. But it's just we are living in a world, Carla, where the line for acceptable has been blurred or been taken completely out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also my thing is it's like okay. Think about the human being and how even when like our church culture and SYC, you know, youth group, which is, if you don't know, me and Ramon, I was a youth group leader. I was in youth group. And you know, we just maintained our friendship into my adulthood.
Yeah.
It became a friendship
Yeah.
later on in life. But anyway, think about how easy it was for us to be in like this bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, these are my friends, these are what we do, this is what we do all the time, right? Think about the internet and think about Instagram or TikTok and how easy it is to be super consumed with those social media platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll use it as a means to escape. Now you're going to have people that are thinking for that moment that they subscribe to this page that they're at a church or escaping into this Baptist church with Black women, because that's all I saw on there, a Black church, Baptist church, that are being sexualized and they're not even real.
Mm.
And so, and what we, and I say that to say, it's like human beings are made to connect, right?
Yeah.
SYC, there was a lot of good things that came out of those connections, but now we're stepping into a place where, you know, with like the metaverse and what they're trying to do with that, and you know, VR systems, like the realism of being inside a video game, we're starting to blur the lines of what's reality and what's not. So
Mm.
it's like, why would I want to live my actual life where I could just escape to a fantasy land?
Carla, let me tell you right now, we are at the cusp of like another level of the next generations have to really kind of comprehend this, because I'm 45 years old. I am doing so much hard work this year, and it's just February. I've told you about stuff that I went through just an hour before we did this show. I'm doing so much hard work. It's crazy, but I need to do the hard work because I've escaped a lot of things in my life in my past. I've escaped emotions. I've escaped things I failed at. I've taken food and I've used food as my it's my drug. It's basically my drug. And how I've dealt with relationships. I've just this whole mindset of blurring the lines of what reality is. I lived that, right? Before all this stuff came into play. Like I would have this imaginary world that I would live in my head where I was the star. Finally, I got to be the star that I always wanted to be. And it took me 45 years, I'm 45, to finally look at reality and live with a level of intentionality where I'm taking control of thoughts and living the life that's in front of me today. This stuff like this and the metaverse, which is dangerous. I played with the metaverse one time. I played one down of football on the metaverse football, and I was like, I gotta get off this because it was fueling my fantasy world. Because at one point I was just a created player on Madden. Now I'm in a football game.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know
get to star.
I get to be the star of my own
Yeah.
story. And I had this thought. It's probably a very negative thought. I hate when we talk to each other when in the realms of relationship. I hate when we use the word king and queen. Because to me, the definition of a king is someone who rules over a piece of land or a country or a community or something, right? I even said in one of my songs, you call yourself you don't own no land, but you call yourself a queen. Like, and we want to put everybody at this high level of this to make people feel good. So we're like, yeah, man, this is my king, this is my queen. You don't own anything, right? There's a level of realism that you have to come to a grips with and be like, yo, I want to be somebody. I'm not quite there yet. I'm working on it, and I'm intentionally working on what's in front of me right now. And we're creating this world. We're not creating it. They've created it. The world is created, Carla. Like AI is doing some crazy stuff. Listen, and I'm not telling you that we should stay away from it. I'm gonna dig deeper into AI in the next couple of days. I'm like, what can AI do to benefit Heritage Park? You know, and what can it do to benefit us? But like, we're just the next generations that have to grow up with this, like our kids, Carla. And between us, we have a lot of daughters.
Yeah.
Okay, you have one son, I don't have a son. We have a lot of daughters. These daughters are gonna grow up and they're gonna want to be married. Hopefully, that they'll want to settle down and be married, or whatever they want to do is fine. But you know, statistically, they'll marry men. and they'll marry men, hopefully that's grown up in the same kind of culture. We don't want them to marry men older than us. That sucks. But we don't want, how are they going to function, Carla, when they don't know what reality is?
Yeah.
The lines of reality have been blurred. The lines of everything. We have no lines. We have absolutely, we have no moral lines. We have no moral standards. Like posting these pictures, it shows that a lack of not just, realism, but morality. Like, yeah, there's IG thirst traps all over this page, all over, right? IG thirst traps everywhere. This is another level because you use a church to market it. You use a church to market it. That's now we're crossing moral issues at this point.
Yeah, and there's people that like that. That's what's crazy. Because you know what? If there was no demand, there would be no supply.
Yeah.
And so there's a responsibility too on the person that's consuming. You know, it's very interconnected. I mean, think about our brains are constantly, I mean, I don't want to trivialize our brains because God created us this way, but whoever invented the computer has mimicked the way humans process. They have just utilized a computer to process different things, right? And a lot of the time humans have to man these computers. Now AI has transformed into being able to evolve. AI can evolve.
Yeah.
Because more information that we give it, now it's evolving. That's insane. That AI get better because we are giving it information. It almost is, it's like mind-blowing. So AI is like, great, ask me more questions. Let me get some more information from you. Like you said, you were talking to AI, right? Let me get some more information. Let me try to understand. So AI is faster than, can get to a place faster than humans can. And we're the one asking it the questions to make it smarter.
Oh, Carla, we in trouble.
But do you see how this is like a Smith movie? Oh my gosh, there's a movie. It's a kid movie. Hold on. It's a cartoon movie that I was watching with Gio, and I can't remember the name, but I'll get the name. And it's literally I don't think I finished all, but it's on Netflix. But basically, long story short, the villain, if you will, is they made this AI, and the AI turned on the creator and started capturing all the humans.
Oh gosh.
But this is a kid movie.
It's a kid movie. But have you noticed that's like the plot of almost every AI film. We've never seen an AI film where AI said, "Psych, guys, here's a better world for you." Like you mentioned the Will Smith movie, the iRobot movie.
Yeah.
That AI that was like, yo, out of the information you gave me, I've come to the conclusion that the bigger threat to society is you.
I mean, I'm like I don't want to be like a tinfoil hat person. but you could look this up. This is not a secret. People like Elon Musk, a lot of these people in the tech world, their religion is, they believe in like transhumanism.
Yeah.
Like that's their religion. So they are in agreement with human intermingling with AI. So like what I heard this, and I don't know if this is true, and I hope, like, I don't know if this will get banned by me saying this. But people are saying that the reason that Elon Musk purchased Twitter was to get human data. To collect as much data as possible for his little Neuralink thing, or whatever it is that he's creating. Who knows? But if you think about it, do you know how marketing works on the internet?
Yeah.
they know everything about you. They know what things you like. They know how much money you make. They know all of your clicks. You're like an algorithm
Yeah.
for the we're
Yeah.
just data. And they just keep selling it, selling it, and selling it, and selling it to other people. That's all
Yeah.
they do
That's
to
all
make you
it.
buy.
Dang. And you're right. We're giving them the information. We're giving them the selling points to trigger us. We're
Exactly.
giving it to them. Did you know they did a research now that on Instagram, I think they timed it to like an hour worth of scrolling. You'll only see less than 10% of your friends.
Oh,
You'll
so you're
see
looking at advertisements?
you're looking at advertising, and what you're really looking at is other pages that the algorithm thinks that you would like based off of what you've liked and what you stop scrolling. So next time you go on Instagram, everyone, next time you go on Instagram, notice what's showing up on your feed and then look to see who created it. And you'll notice, I don't know who that is because they're sending you posts based off of creators that you once stopped and looked at. So like I get a lot of basketball videos because I look at basketball. There was one pretty girl that I looked at. Now I get all these thirst traps. So it's like I get thirst traps galore, Carla. Like I even sat there, I was like, that's one thirst trap, that's two thirst trap, three. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And they get worse. And then they start to notice, and it gets so detailed, Carla. It gets so detailed to the point where they find out what kind of, and I'm just using thirst trap for example. Oh, he likes Latinas, so we'll give him more Latinas. And then, oh, he likes them when they have the figure like this. Not because I like them, because I don't like them. But they even can tell when you stop scrolling to look. So when you stop scrolling, they're like, oh, he stopped scrolling. He looked at LeBron James video. Oh, he listened to the whole interview point from Jay-Z. Oh, he listened to the whole 50 Cent reel that was 60 seconds. Let's give him another one. Oh, he stopped and he liked that one. We'll give him another one. It's what was that Netflix film? Netflix had a documentary about it.
Yeah. I don't remember the name, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Good. Go ahead.
We're losing the battle against AI tremendously.
I have a thought.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
I was going to say AI took her off.
I have a thought.
Okay.
What would happen if, let's just say, the powers that be, okay? Like, I don't know, your job, your people in authority that can affect your life.
Mm-hmm.
What would they see if they pulled your data?
Jeez.
What would they see? How many minutes? How many seconds are you looking at this? Are you looking at that? And does that implicate that you like it? That you're curious?
Mm-hmm.
What would that say about you? Think about if the government had the power to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just posing the question.
But they do, right? Don't they? They do.
I'm sure, but can they do? Okay, so do you remember this story about a lady who was raped in the metaverse?
I don't recall that story. Oh. Okay, back. I don't recall that story.
Yeah, there's a story of a lady that was sexually assaulted. Obviously, it wasn't her, but she was sexually assaulted in the metaverse. Okay, so how is that going to be dealt with? Is there going to be a separate policing?
So, okay, we lost her for a second. I think our phone's ringing.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how did you get sexually assaulted in the metaverse? Was it verbally?
No, these metaverse characters, which are controlled by people, I assume, violated this woman. I guess they took her like I don't remember all the details because this was like when it first happened, but I do remember the story. It was reported on. But okay, so like I've never done a VR situation. Like, how realistic is it?
It's pretty realistic.
Okay, so could
Um,
you imagine being in a VR, you have clothes on, you create all this thing, and then these two strangers just come and decide, ha ha ha, that'd be funny. Let's violate
see,
this.
here's my thing is like, yeah, if that happened, I can literally do this and take the glasses off.
Yeah, I know.
Hmm. Interesting.
I know. I know. That was my thought, right? But
Mm-hmm.
how do you tell a person, okay, what's going to happen if now everything that we do has to go through the metaverse? Like, are we going to get to a point where people have to go to work through the metaverse?
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just posing the question because like, okay, for example, COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do your kids still do work on a laptop?
No, not anymore. They're back to the book and the pen and the paper.
Okay, so I don't know about all the school districts. I mean, they still do pen and paper, but everything, even in university, everything is done on a laptop. It's done virtually.
Well,
Tests,
college, yeah, and I just finished college this week, and yeah, everything was through.
everything is virtual. So
Mhm.
that's like easing you on in. It's easing you on in your phone. You could do everything on your phone.
Yeah,
Literally everything.
yeah. You can
It's
run
like
a business from a phone.
literally that's what people back in the day loved Blackberries, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost like it's like a gradual progression, right? And now that you can create OnlyFans with AI, well, why not?
Why not? Unbelievable.
Now I don't have to pay a woman to do it.
No.
I don't have to film it. I don't have to have a crew for it. Like these people are cashing out on the fact that there are people out there that are so desperate or have this addiction or have this problem or whatever you want to categorize it as that they are willing to pay for AI to
Stimulate them.
stimulate them.
Carla, to take it a step further, OnlyFans is already like you're already in a losing game if you think about it. If you're paying any chick on OnlyFans, listen, I know they're good looking and all this other stuff. They don't want you. And on top of that, like I hate that as we're ministers of the gospel, Carla. So let's just I'm gonna keep it a buck with you because it's real. Porn is free. Like porn is free. So it just there's kids who are actually making 6 and 7 figures a year off of OnlyFans when porn is actually free. Like they misspelled a word and they can get free porn. It's people are so people are I don't want to say they're sad, but they're so desperate and they lack so much that they'll even go as far as going into fantasy to fulfill their needs.
Everybody needs an escape. I mean, that's okay. But what are you it's okay to get a break. Like God said you need a day of rest because
Mm,
he knows how he created us. We all need a break, but we can't create addictions out of that.
yeah. So what does this mean for the church?
Don't even get me started. Like now, like just from what you said, now church is online.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad or a good thing. I think it's great because you can reach more people. But I'm just saying, how many people did not go back to church after COVID because they're like, I'd rather stay home.
Yeah. And in that moment right there, changes the whole thing. They'll change the whole narrative to church because church wasn't supposed to be about the service. Church was supposed to be about the community.
Exactly.
So now we're breaking connection out of convenience. And because of the life and the world we live in now, convenience is king. Convenience is king. I can get food delivered directly to my doorstep. I don't even have to walk outside. Like I bought a product that I needed and I was like, oh, I'm running low on this. Instead of going to the store, Carla, I Amazoned it and it was at my doorstep the next morning.
I
So
know.
I don't even have to go to the store anymore. Like
Okay, but think of it this way. Like, we don't even, this is like very primitive, but I'm just giving an example. Like, we don't, if if our food supply was cut off, would you know how to get food?
No. Outside Uber Eats? No.
Do you know how to kill an animal? Do you know how to plant a plant for survival?
I
I
do not
mean,
know that. I know how to
okay,
plant vegetables.
a lot of people don't.
That's true. A lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't. So think about the progression though. As technology has advanced, we've gone further, further, further away from that self sufficiency because of convenience. Like, it's much more convenient for me to go to the grocery store and pick up a pack of meat than it is for me to go hunt a deer or whatever and kill it and bring it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
And I know like this is progressed from our original topic, but
Yeah.
the point of it is we have evolved as a people, and we're going into dangerous territory as it relates to AI. And I'm not going to say I'm offended, but I'm almost like disgusted with the fact that somebody thought it was cool to use church as a means to pervert, to promote perversion.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care, clearly.
They don't. I feel
Like,
like we're playing into a hand, and the end game is going to be the demise of a lot of people.
right.
We're playing into this thing. We've been playing into this thing for a very long time. There's outliers, right? There's always outliers in every crowd, but for the
Right.
most part, we accepted Facebook to do what they do, even though we're using Facebook to broadcast, because it benefited us to a certain level, but we didn't understand what we were giving away. Like TikTok. As much as I want to get on TikTok, when I read, there's a little bit more given in the TikTok disclosure than the Facebook one. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm giving away a little bit too much here. And dude, TikTok sends me little messages like, dude, you got this many followers. Post something. And I'm
That's
like, yeah, that's like, it's like, come on, get involved in this. Get involved in this. And I like that disclosure, man. I'm reading, we're giving away a lot. And we've given away a lot to be convenient, and we were quiet. We stepped back and let it happen because it was going to be easy for us. And even with like going back to Hollywood has made movies to dictate to us, listen, no matter how many ways you can spend it, it's not going to end up well on our part. Mankind is ultimately doomed. I can name movies for days. Like, we can name movies for days. We can keep going on and talk about Wall-E or Ex Machina. There's films after film after film that tells us, listen, AI is about to whoop your ass and you're not ready.
okay. Let's take it scriptural. Let's take it biblical. And you're probably know the scripture better than me. How did the serpent deceive Eve?
he did deceive her by telling her a lie, but what he really did though is he told Eve, he discredited Eve. But here's a crazy part about it. The what Eve told the serpent was inaccurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because God told Adam to not eat from that tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
And the serpent said, did he not say that you shouldn't touch it? And she says, this tells the serpent, we're not to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
The instruction wasn't not to touch. The instruction was to
Not eat.
So she didn't fully understand the guidance of the structure. And now, because she didn't understand it, she couldn't really comprehend why. Because even at that time, it was just a rule, but it wasn't established in why are we not partaking in this tree when there's so many other trees. And so then the serpent told her, listen, you're not going to die. That's what the serpent told Eve. Like, you're not going to die. Okay. God doesn't want you to touch this because you'll be knowing. You'll be fully aware. you'll know everything going on. Which takes us to another question, Carla. What was it that Eve wanted to know?
But I guess my point to all of it is isn't AI and technology, they promote it as good,
Yeah.
but good isn't always, I don't know what the word is, but good isn't always good.
Beneficial. It's not beneficial.
There you go. So, I mean, this has been happening since the beginning of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know about you guys can all Google this. This is all real about China's social credit system, right?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
aware of it, yes.
Okay. That is basically reviewing people's data.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, it's
And
good.
they're deciding what lines of credit people could get based off of that.
Exactly.
And
What type of person are you?
Yeah. America's following that same suit.
They're trying.
What was it? They said something in a couple of years, her credit rating system will be diminished and there'll be a different credit rating system. But the new one, the social one that you're talking about, will dictate whether we can even get on planes.
All I gotta say is if you don't know the Lord, you better know him now.
And you better, bro.
Because he is the only hope.
At this point, he was always the only hope. He was
But
always.
But it's gonna be so much harder to serve God. And I believe that's because of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, what I interpret as the fall of Adam and Eve was he was trying to convince her that he was equal to God.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem with man.
And listen, it's going to be harder because I had a conversation with a young man. In my conversation, I ended the conversation by saying, because he's like, wanted to do things his way. He loves God, but wanted to do things his way. And I told him, bro, loving God is not convenient for you. And it shouldn't be, because Jesus taking the cross for my sins wasn't convenient for him.
Right.
I'm not saying that it's hard to love Jesus, but when you follow the scriptures and you try to line your life up to that, you'll find out that there's moments where it's not convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiving people is not convenient.
And it's hard.
It's hard. Giving people grace, loving the unlovable, forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
Connecting to a community where you're going to have friendships where you talk about certain things that you keep secret.
Mm-hmm.
That junk ain't convenient. It's
Right.
really hard. But through that is where people find freedom.
Right.
And that's where your hope will come from.
Right.
So that's why it's important to plug into a church, not just follow them online, but be plugged into a church that you can go through life together with. Like Carla, I said last week when I did Epic Thoughts, I was like, yo, my problem with trying to find churches for people is, and not trying to find church for people, but my problem with the church is, if you take away the service, what do you have?
Yeah, you have to have a community.
There's got to be community. And
because that's how you build real relationship with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because being transparent and being open and being real with people who can pray with you and stand, because sometimes we don't see stuff that, like Carla, sometimes I don't see things that you see when I talk about stuff that I'm going through. Like, well, do you think about this? Like, I didn't think about this. That's what's the important thing of being in a community,
Different perspectives.
Different perspectives, and we look out for each other. That's not convenient. You're not going to get that through AI. And do you think, and we're getting close to get out here, but do you think that AI also keeps us isolated?
Yeah, because it keeps you connected to the machine and not connected to people.
Dang.
That's what and I mean, honestly, I'm guilty of it too. Like, I could scroll on TikTok for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good information, but back to what I said. Good information isn't always beneficial. I mean, what other things could I do with my time?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And typically I just look at it when I'm trying to go to bed because it makes me sleepy for some reason. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's I
The other thing, Carla, to think about
uh-huh.
is the technology behind it is extremely fast. So what used to take 10 years to manifest takes literally a week.
Yeah. I mean, when you can have AI write an essay for you, mm,
Mm-hmm.
what are people not going to be able to think critically anymore?
Did you see the AI created a television sitcom based off of Family Guy with real characters?
No.
They took all the characters from Family Guy and it made a 24-minute television show. And they took all the characters from Family Guy and what they would look like if they were actual people.
The only way that this is going to work is if we all boycott these things. Like we can't allow AI to take spaces of creatives.
No.
Like we can't allow that. Like we've already allowed AI to take space in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Like this would have to be like a real collective of like humankind to combat this. But I fear that we're past that.
We're past that. And my response to that is you don't think AI has a plan for if that happens?
Probably.
Oh, it has a plan.
That's gnarly.
That's freaking scary.
But also too, like, think about this. If going back to our original topic, right? And I know we need to leave soon. If men or women, if that's their thing, are attracted to AI, how are they ever going to be able to create human connection if their only connection is to a computer screen?
They can't.
That's what, and like I said, going back to porn and all this other stuff, that's why it's so detrimental, because people create an attraction to a fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
and that fantasy will never, not say will never, but it's hard for that fantasy to live up to reality, because there's effort that takes place into building intimacy with somebody to be able to get to that place where you're physical with that person. That takes work. And if you've never had to do it, well, you don't develop that skill. I mean, there's a lot of issues to unpack here that we probably need more time to talk about, but this is like a lot of layers to the human psyche.
Yeah. Yeah. Because remember, there's times where people were married to dolls. We're going to see the time people are going to be married to AI characters.
There you go.
And that's that interlink that you're talking about.
Yep.
Dude. Whenever I think that we can't get weirder, like the world shows us something brand new.
And I have a feeling this won't be the last time we talk about this.
Oh no, this is the beginning, Carla. Like
Yeah.
you said, there's so much more that's going to happen off of this.
There's back. I mean, what I would say to hopefully leave it on a good note is that we need to be aware of what's going on. And I would say that every single person needs to be intentional about how they spend their time and making sure that they're spending it off of, devices as much as they can, not to allow it to replace that human interaction.
Yeah. And with that being said, join us on heritageparkproductions.com. No, you're right, Carla. And that's why, that goes with what I was sharing last week. And I had the aha moment in the middle of the show. And the aha moment was, that's why I have so many things on my plate. I'm a community builder.
Right.
Heritage Park is a community, and I'm a community builder.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that we do that have nothing to do with the art aspect. Because
Mm-hmm.
me and you, we're like best friends. with two best friends that ain't gonna ever ask him. And so, but we love and we strive. You and I strive off of real interaction.
Yeah.
We strive off of that. And so we want to encourage you guys, man. If you go find some friends, man, go like I joined a baseball team, an all adult male baseball, real not softball. Like somebody was like, "This ain't slow pitch." I said, "No, homie, they're throwing fastballs at you."
I love it.
Baseball, and already like I'm 3 days in and haven't even had practice yet. Just the text thread is entertaining enough where I'm like, I'm gonna have a good time with these dudes. It's really great. Get outside, man. I have a tennis match tomorrow. Like, do something that has nothing to do with your phone, man. Like, just enjoy life and what God is. Because, like, you're gonna walk outside. I don't know how cold it is because I know it was cold out there last week for you, but it was clear and sunny this morning. I walked outside and I was like, "Well, look at this day. Look at what God did." It's just a beautiful, beautiful day. So just do something, guys. And with that being said, Heritage Park, PROD.com. So after you go play in the outdoors and stuff, and you get on your phone, you're like, what should I look up? Look up Heritage Park. See what we got to offer for you. We have great stuff. If you're in the Sacramento area, Kevin Davis's album release party is next Saturday. Tickets are on sale. You can find the link on both IG pages, on Kevin's IG page, on Heritage Park IG page. And there's also a link on this website, heritageparkprod.com. Just go on the website and just see what we got going on. I was looking for the number. We have a number. We have a number. Oh, there it is. 848-207-2631. Join the Heritage Park community. That's our community line. If you want to hear about events that's happening in your area, maybe we'll come to your area for whatever reason. Again, March 18th. I got another announcement. March 18th, man, Carla, if you could get on the charter, that'll be fun. March 18th here in the wonderful city of Upland, we are going to have our Kick the Ball game. We're going to see how we can take this thing to another level. So we finally got the teams together, Carla, and March 18th, huh?
Kick the bucket?
Kick the bucket.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to get out here and we're going to play it March 18th. I'm not going to play it, but I got other people to play.
You have to ref it because
no one else can ref it. No one else can ref it. But if you want to know more about it and you like running and getting being outside, 848-207-2631. Or if you want to join our tennis league, because people are adding to the tennis league, Carla, it's hilarious.
I love it.
I'm getting all these text messages like, "Yo, I'm playing you next," and I'm like, "Okay, let's go." I did. Carla, I know I'm gonna talk to you in about 10 minutes after we close this link. So, anything you want to leave with the people before we go?
Nah, man, just connect with the people that you love. Build relationships with people.
Cool. Same with me. I'm going to say the same thing. All right. Until we talk to you, see you next week, Carla. I'll see you in 10 minutes. All right. Bye.